We're joined also by David Spencer, former Met police officer, currently head of crime and justice at the think tank Policy Exchange. Welcome, David. Good morning to you. And a statement from the Ministry of Justice to us actually makes the claim that the government is committed to the criminal justice system making better citizens, not better criminals. We hear an echo of that in what the Bishop just said there. What do you make of her approach to the use of prisons in these contexts?
Well, I think if you have thrown bricks at the head of a police officer or you have tried to set fire to a hotel in which people are living, those are such serious crimes that prison is quite rightly, for a period of time, the place for you. And
Even if you're just 15 years old?
Well, I think the youth system and the way we treat youths and children in the system has to be very different to the way that we treat adults. And I think if you're 15 years old, then there may well be other alternatives that should be looked at. I'm not suggesting that for youths and children, we should treat them in the same way as adults, certainly not. But I do think that if we think about the question that the Bishop is asking about what prison is for, we need to take a step back and we need to ask ourselves, actually, what is the criminal law about? And the criminal law is there as laid down by Parliament to codify the limits of what is acceptable behaviour, not to outlaw everything that we might find unpleasant, but the limits of what's acceptable. And then prison custody is the most serious commonly available of sentencing options for those guilty of a crime. So actually, people are not sent to prison on a whim. In fact, of those sentenced for being found guilty at court of a criminal offence last year, only about 6% were sent to immediate custody. So the idea that we are just sending everyone on a whim to prison is simply nonsense.
But David, what happens in prisons is also important, isn't it? Purposeful work, meaningful work, rehabilitation. The critics of prisons in the UK and globally these days say we are essentially warehousing human beings, and history will judge us for that.
Yeah, and quite right too. That the system as it exists at the moment is in a catastrophic state of failure, not just prisons actually, but the entire criminal justice system. And the new government has inherited a disaster within our criminal justice system. And clearly there is a problem there which must be sorted out. So I don't think anyone is suggesting that the prison system or the criminal justice system is in a good state at the moment. It certainly isn't.
David, thank you very much. David Spencer there from the think tank Policy Exchange.